enemies, I stay in my glow. And you know they gonna intervene, my niggas do them all.
Everybody wants to be my enemy. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Kill the skies, all that they are. Memories, memories. How does it feel to be the enemy?
Now you're just my enemy.
No, it's really hard to see that we are the enemy. I'm not the one who's trying to be your enemy.
Are we allies or enemies? This will be the death of me.
Enemy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Incendiary damage.
Welcome, everyone, to the official debate section.
This debate is being conducted under health and safety protocols designed by the Cleveland Clinic.
Let's get it started in here.
And we are live. How are you guys doing?
Not bad.
Good to see you, Peter. How about you, Fanta? You doing good?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Awesome. Fired up for the show tonight. It was fun finding a lot of songs that had the word enemy in it. We are going to be debating tonight, can enemies successfully team up? And the reason we're doing that, of course, is the creator that's with us is Edwin Acevedo. And in his book, he's got his main character teaming up with enemies to take care of an even bigger bad guy. So let's bring Edwin on the show. Hey, Jake. Glad you could join us.
Hey,
made
Jake.
it by a hair.
Hey, Jake.
Yep. And here's Edwin. How you doing, Edwin?
What's going on, guys?
Edwin.
Did I see
Edwin.
Bancroft
Good to
in
see
the
you, man.
chat for a second? He disappeared.
Was he?
So weird.
Some person was here.
Hey, some person, what's going on?
How you doing, man? Just put him on. All right. So, yeah, we're going to be talking today, Edwin. Our debate is going to be all about can enemies successfully team up? And you can decide either one of the side of that debate you want to be on. So let us know first, do you think that they can successfully team up?
Yeah, I'm going to be pro in this debate. Pro team.
Okay. All right. And Jake, now what does he have to do?
Edwin, since you are the guest of the show, you get to decide which side of the debate you're going to be on. And not only that, you get to choose which one of us, Fanta, Peter, or myself, are going to be on your team to help you debate your side.
All right. So I'm like I said, I'm gonna choose the pro team up side, and I'm gonna rock with Peter this time.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Peter is going to be there, and Fanta over there. So Edwin and Peter versus Fanta and Jake. I will mediate, probably pick sides somewhere along the way. Usually when we have our guest on and we talk about these debates, we start with the guest. So Edwin, tell us why you feel enemies can successfully team up.
Yeah, like to bring it to this specific story, I've always liked the idea of a bigger threat forcing people that don't see eye to eye to come together. One of the influences for Akula I mentioned in the past is Spike. And one of my favorite parts of Buffy was seeing Spike play for like the good guys.
Oh, okay. You were talking about the same Spike I thought you meant.
Yeah. They had they had the gimmick of the chip and other things, but eventually, people like that. I think it makes things really interesting when you kind of force both sides to have to come together to face a new threat. It makes for interesting storytelling. But yeah,
So
I'm definitely.
for those of you who are Batman fans, you can correct me about the timing on this, but I think that is current. That the series is currently out called Batman and the Joker: Deadly Duo. Now, the Joker obviously is deadly. He's killed many. I don't know if they could successfully call it the Deadly Duo, though, but for some reason, it's a miniseries and they're teaming up. So I guess, it could happen. It's something that's been done before, though, all the way back in Brave and the Bold, which was a series that almost every month Batman was like the main star, and then he would have a guest star. And at least several times, the Joker was his guest star because he was teaming up with him. So this is definitely not a new idea, but perhaps they're approaching it differently. Jake, we're going to go to you next. Tell us why you think enemies really can't successfully team up.
Because anytime I've ever seen a good guy and a bad guy team up, somehow at the last second, the bad guy always tries to get one over on the good guy. And so, actually, I just finished watching Toy Story 3 with the kids. And of course, Lotso, the big fuzzy bear, they all get stuck at the garbage dump. Spoilers. And right when they're about to be tossed into the furnace, Lotso spots the ladder, climb up, and gets the help of the guys to push him up to get him to go press the button to stop everything. Well, Lotso waddles his ass up the stairs and makes it to safety, and then he just looks at the button and then looks at Woody and the gang and just, basically flips them off and then walks away and then leaves them to be in their peril. So there's that. There's also what was it I was just thinking about? Shoot. I think it was Loki up until like the right at the very end. He kept on always trying to get one over on Thor and the Avengers, even though he had to team up with them at one point to try and like fool Hela or Malekith to try and defeat them, and then at the last second he tries to do something for his own good and then ends up getting killed. Either way, anytime I've seen it, the bad guy always ends up trying to win over everybody at the last minute, and it always goes up in smoke.
It goes the ally, the agreement to be allies goes up in smoke, or you mean the villain's plan goes up in smoke?
Both.
Both, okay.
Like Magneto and Professor X teaming up, and at the last minute, Magneto tries to take advantage of the situation when they get
right.
there. Something like that.
So
that makes sense.
Careful not to take Jake's side there, Peter. Tell us why you think enemies can team up.
I think that it's actually makes for a really interesting story when you have like especially developed sides here. It's always cool to watch Spider-Man and Venom go together to take on somebody. It's one of the better stories, I think, where heroes and villains had to team up to take out a bigger threat would be Star Wars. And when Darth Vader had to choose, did not see that coming. When the first time I saw that movie, I did not. It totally took me by surprise, and that's what made that movie like just so epic and awesome. Because there is a bigger threat, and Darth Vader realizes, the story, and he does the right thing. It's just awesome storytelling when you can do a good job with that. There's I don't think they do it enough, really. I know in Cyberfrog that the way he's been doing it now, like I read the old stuff, and you have established heroes and villains, but in the newer stuff, you've got this Vespis threat attacking, and it's actually kind of cool seeing the dynamic between the heroes having to kind of work with the villains. The villains are still villains. The heroes are still heroes, but they've got this big threat. They've got a problem to fix. And man, it makes for really what's going to happen. If they fix the threat, are they friends now? Or like Jake was saying, is the bad guy going to turn? It's cool to see when you have a little bit of a bridge built there between heroes and villains. it makes for interesting future stories. Like, oh man, is Shredder, for example, was in a Ninja Turtles. They saved him in an issue of the Archie series, Adventure, the Ninja Turtles Adventures. They saved Shredder at one point, and so there was a later issue where he comes back and has the opportunity to like just slaughter the turtles, but Honor demanded that he, pay back that debt, and so he let him free that time. But next time, and that's the question: is he going to be their friend later? Like, at what point? It's just really awesome, surprising stuff. I love it. I think it's cool when they team up.
At the end of the movie, the Wolverine, so this is spoilers, this is like the end credits scene. Wolverine's going through the airport, suddenly realizes that Magneto's right behind him, so he turns around to claw him, and Magneto stops it. But what happens is Xavier then freezes everyone, and he also joins the scene, and Magneto and Xavier are recruiting Wolverine to face a bigger threat, and that is the upcoming threat of Stryker. So, the idea that those two big villains that you mentioned a few minutes ago team up, they were friends at the very beginning, like very close friends. They even knew at the beginning that they had different ideologies as far as how their methodology would work as far as, reaching the goal that they were trying to reach. And yes, a lot of people say it's an allegory between like Malcolm X and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., where they had a lot of the same goal in mind, but had different methodologies to achieve it. So the same thing with Professor X and Xavier, but I loved it. To your point, I loved to see them working together, however tenuously, there at the end of Wolverine and preparing.
Yeah, the Origins movie.
Well,
is that
Origins,
the one you're talking about?
No,
Origins is
was
cool.
a different one.
Second one.
The second one was
Wolverine
just called The
too.
Wolverine. Yep, where he
well,
had.
it's also in Origins.
And what about in Origins?
Well, we got Sabretooth and Wolverine having to team up again, different ideologies, to the point where they split up, but then they have to fight together at the end. And I really like the line Sabretooth has. He says, no, I mean, the movie, take it for what you like it or not, but it does have some cool moments in it. When Sabretooth says, nobody kills you but me. Like, that was like,
right.
That's cool. I get it. That's cool.
That is a good line. Yep, you're right. So, Fanta, you haven't read all of these comics for 50 plus years. What do you think about, maybe in the movies or in other genres of entertainment when you're talking about enemies? Why do you think, for example, your side of the debate is enemies teaming up does not work?
Because I think ego plays into it. I was all set for the other side. Oh. I'm going to go, if I'm crazy, just stop me. But I'm going to go Lord of the Rings, right?
Okay.
You got Sauron and Saruman. And
right.
I think I got that right. Sauron basically just uses Saruman or whatever to do his bidding. But Saruman thinks he's on the same team until it comes down to it. And everybody knows then that Sauron doesn't give a damn who was there for him or not. He wants the power. And I think that plays in like enemies and coming together. At first they start out with great intentions, I think, but then it just blows up in their face. That's how I feel.
That reminds me of the time in the comic books now, not the movies, but in the comic books when Thanos is getting the Infinity Gauntlet, and many heroes, villains, and even up to the level of cosmic entities all team up to try to take him down and fail. But then, as Thanos is always wont to do, he always seems to sabotage himself. That's sort of a different storyline or a different topic maybe for another time. But in the meantime, while he was still holding the gauntlet and still able to just control, reality, time, power, all that, he was the big enough threat that all of those enemies teamed up to face him, understanding that he could wipe out half of the universe, and they never knew which half they would be in, whether they'd be in the half that gets, snapped or the half that remains. So yeah, it wasn't touched on in the movie, but even the bad guys sort of picked sides on that one. Edwin, I want to come back to you. I know you talked about, Akula and his role in teaming up with the Ace. I think that in your book, you've got a few other villains that team up with him too, don't you?
Yeah, Angelique teams up with Ace and Desi, to form this alliance to fight back the Hyun. Yeah, so it's really interesting. Like I said, I like playing with this idea. Like I said, I bring it back a lot to Buffy. That's kind of been on. I've been rewatching some scenes and stuff. And at the end of
Oh,
season
okay.
two, when Spike has had enough of evil Angel and jealous, and he gets up out of the wheelchair, he goes to Buffy and to save his friends. And then Buffy she's pissed. She's like, I should kill you. And he's like, yeah, but you can't beat them alone. So I love all that stuff. To me, I think that's super like interesting. Like there's a lot of terrible stuff from Buffy, but when they did like the stuff like that, and I thought like Spike and Buffy's relationship was super interesting, especially in the earlier seasons. So yeah, you can play with a lot of different things. Like I said, I think all these things, that there's a lot of ways that you can look at it. You get it as like who has an agenda, how long is the partnership for, what's the cause. Like one of my, bringing it to comics, like when Hal and Sinestro, who were known enemies for decades, have to team up to face the Black Lantern attack.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
when you see that, you're like, man, these guys hate each other. You just saw the Hal take down Sinestro in the Sinestro Corps War. Now, like like a year later, whatever DC time, he has to team up with them to stop these undead Black Lanterns that are taking over the universe. That's stuff like that super interesting, and it gives you a lot of things to play with. Like I say, exploring everybody's motivations, and just doing something different. Like there's only so many Hal versus Sinestro stories you can tell. Well,
Right.
let's throw something different on there. Let's change up the dynamic a bit.
It is a bit. It is a bit difficult if you think about it. Over the course of all of these decades, that Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, Spider-Man, Hulk, etc. Imagine being a writer coming into the series, 50 years after the series started, and they have their own rogues galleries, most of them. But how many different ways can Lex screw with Superman? How many different ways can Parasite, drain Superman's power and Superman somehow vanquish him? I think that writers today have a huge challenge, and that may be why they're a little bit creatively bankrupt. They're just running out of ideas. So these team ups that you're talking about, sometimes they rehash old stories and tell it in a different way. So the team ups can sort of bring something fresh to the storylines if they pick the right characters to throw together. I love it
Yeah.
when they do sort of like a fish out of water, where characters that are either very power imbalanced, like talking maybe I don't know, the Hulk and Daredevil team. It's like the two of them, they're not enemies necessarily, but they certainly don't have the same methodology or see eye to eye. In fact, there's a Frank Miller issue of Daredevil pretty much beats Hulk. Beats him in the head. But, two of them teaming up, it's a different dynamic, difficult, I'm sure, to write, but fun as a reader to see it together. So, Jake, I'm going to bring it back to you again. Tell us, you have another example of enemy teaming up. You thought, yeah, that's not realistic. That would not have worked.
Yeah, Edwin made a great point about Sinestro and how Jordan always teaming up to take on bigger threats. But I think that's because you have a teacher-student relationship that was already ingrained before they became enemies. So I think there's a mutual respect there, even though they don't always agree. But if we're talking like actual like enemies teaming up to make things happen, um, unless it has to do with like I don't know, fans finding the villain to be a favorite and then having to turn him to be a hero to keep him in the comics or show or whatever, you're hardly ever going to see it work out story wise. So great example is We're going manga. Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Dragon
Ball Z yesterday.
So,
That's actually a good example.
Yeah, in the Planet Namek saga, we find before this, Vegeta and Goku, were just trading blows on Earth. Vegeta came down to get wishes from the Dragon Balls. Goku's like, leave my planet alone. Vegeta's ready to destroy it, but loses, of course. So he escapes in a space pod to the stars, and everybody finds out that there's also Dragon Balls on Namek. So everybody goes there to try and get them. Well, a bigger threat comes that both of those dudes cannot take on just yet. And what happens to Goku's friends who are going to try and find the Dragon Balls? They need to team up now with Vegeta. But that's not a friendship thing. That's Vegeta being strategic and saying, hey, these weaker guys could actually help me gather them, and then I'll kill them bastards after we get them all together and I get my wish. So,
the other side of that coin, though, is Vegeta did stick around eventually and became one of the team, and so
that's my point. That's my point, though. That was never supposed to happen originally with Akira Toriyama. Those were fans saying, "Oh my God, we love the character Vegeta. Please bring him back."
I didn't like that Vegeta, the domesticated Vegeta, anyways.
Nobody does.
So, that's a very good point. In the series Excalibur, they made Juggernaut kind of like a anti-hero. They brought him in as part of the team. It's like Juggernaut has been out for his own, his own good or his own agenda ever since the very beginning. And they're doing that a lot when they do things like Suicide Squad, where they're forcing a bunch of bad guys to step into a hero role. And Citizen V, which was actually Baron Zemo putting together the Thunderbolts, is another example of a team of villains who are posing as heroes, some of whom actually ended up loving being a hero. So
I didn't understand why Juggernaut. I didn't read that one, but I don't know why. Why would Juggernaut join them? He's not a mutant for one, so their purpose doesn't align with his purpose. And if he's bad, I don't know why he would even join him to begin with.
Yeah, he's always been against the mutants because he's jealous of his half-brother, Xavier. Yeah, you're right. He's not a mutant. He's a mutate. And that distinction has always been something that bothered him. Now, in the movie, they never touched on that. In fact,
thank goodness.
In the X-Men, they didn't do much good with Juggernaut at all. He was just there for a soundbite every now and then. In Deadpool, though, they started getting closer to what Juggernaut should be, but then they just turned him all CGI.
I liked it, though. I thought the Deadpool Juggernaut was pretty cool.
You like that one? Okay, that's good.
I mean, it's definitely separated from the comic still, but it's a much better Juggernaut than the X-Men 3 Juggernaut.
Agreed. Yep. Agreed.
Which I'm wondering if they're going to bring... here they're bringing X-Men 3 Juggernaut back for Deadpool 3. Yeah, so I'm curious if they're going to bring Deadpool Juggernaut in there as well. It'd be cool to watch the two of them fight.
They, you know what? They are bringing like the multiverse of a bunch of different characters. I see that Azazel's coming back, Psylocke is coming back, Lady Deathstrike is coming back. So there's a lot of
team ups.
A
lot of awesome
actors and actresses
heroes,
that are
villains, team ups.
To great cameos. I'm looking forward to it. I love the part where Deadpool says, "Well, Paul Rudd finally aged," because they've got the skeleton of Giant Man there, or the skull anyway. We have reached the bottom of the hour. I want to ask Fanda one more time if she's got anything else to add.
I'd like to apologize to my teammate. I was the weakest link.
Oh, you're fine.
You know, when we're doing these things and we are debating the side of the argument that we may not agree with. There's always that.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised nobody brought up Spider-Man and Venom taking on Carnage.
I did.
Oh, my bad.
Well, not taking on Carnage. I mentioned Spider-Man and Venom.
The two of them teaming up, right? But not specifically why.
That was a cool team up. I thought they should have been besties after that.
Yeah, right. Well, you think that after you, bonded with somebody in a symbiosis way, you'd still be buddies after a time.
Yeah, I mean, the suit definitely like Peter Parker. So why did it try to convince Eddie to like chill out with that? Bro, he was just a better photographer than you, man. Chill out.
Well, I think the suit was probably mad at him though for using that sonic attack to get him off of it.
Damn church bells.
Yeah,
that's right.
Blasted
All right,
Spider-Man.
Blast him. Let us talk about. Let's get into details now about this whole thing, which is Ace Volume 3. Oh, let me move down here, Edwin, so that you are not
buddy.
hidden by the thing. So, if you could, wait, first let me ask you, do you want me to go ahead and play the trailer to begin with?
Yeah, go ahead. Right.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. All right.
Yeah.
Great trailer. Yeah.
Man, I like this. The colorist on this one is like the colors are really popping, man.
Look at that cover. That cover right there is just freaking amazing. It really jumps out at you. For some reason, I have a thing for winged characters. It doesn't have to be chicks, but it helps when they're a hot chick. But I do like winged characters, so I was definitely drawn to that Angelique character you got there. Cool to see her team up with Kula and the Ace. And I'm sorry, who was the gal on the bottom left there?
That's Desi.
Desi, okay. I'm going to have to reread 1 and 2 for sure right before 3 gets to me, or when it arrives, and just read them all like one after the other.
You got it, man. I think anybody who does will get a lot more out of it. I think try to make it as readable as you can for like a one shot. Like people can jump in and kind of figure out everything. But I think if you go through all the stories and the epilogue and the origins and all that stuff, you'll kind of see. I think you'll get a little more out of it. By the time 3's done.
Man, I like you got all 3 available for $45. That's actually a pretty good deal.
Good deal. Saves you a couple of bucks if you do the bundle option.
So
how many pages is this one going to be?
Okay.
You say how many pages?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're all 32 pages.
Okay, awesome. Nice.
So the great thing about backing one of Edwin's projects is he has a steady, dependable record of fulfillment. In addition to the Ace Volumes 1 and 2, there's Raid of the White Leopard, There's Bloodbone. I mean, he definitely delivers on his projects. So you can back with confidence. How much of this book is already done? I mean, did you say this was done?
All the art and colors are done. The epilogue story that Hal did has to be lettered. I'm just going through the script a final time to just make sure everything is correct, and
Good
then I'll
man.
send it out to my letter. And then he's quick, so he should have it done by the end of the month. And then I'll probably have a proof ordered probably in July. My printer's been super slow because they're doing some upgrades. So apologies to the 3 or 4 backers that are still waiting on Bloodbone. I'm trying to get them to send me those books as quickly as I can to ship them out to everybody. Like I said, I don't do a lot of overprint. Yeah, I don't do a lot of overprint, so I kind of try to order for what I need. So I have a small apartment, so I can't be having all these books. I have like 4 boxes of Ace 2 books that were just taking up room. And I'm just like, this is madness. I got to get rid of
hit
these.
some conventions, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah.
So I like the artwork, man. This looks like fun. Looks like a fun comic. We need more fun comics around.
Yeah, a couple of shows back, we were talking about what we were looking forward to this year, and I very much stood up and said Ace 3.
Thank you, bro.
That's right.
So, it's been a labor of love. This is my baby, as I like to call it. I want to keep telling Ace stories as long as I can. This one took a little longer, but I think people see the quality of it. We try to up the art, the colors, the lettering, the story, everything. Just trying to make it better and better. So I think this is the best version yet. So I'm excited to get in people's hands.
Excellent. Glad to see, with each one you're improving a little bit and the story is getting even more and more interesting as things develop. You can see that there's, and this is right in Peter's wheelhouse where we've got, this space.
Yeah.
That's an excellent
shot. Yeah, he loves the sci-fi, right?
I like that portal, man. Like the way that portal looks, is the ship's coming through. I don't know, like that pink and purple with that blue highlight. Yeah. That looks cool.
Like a rippled storm.
Yeah,
one of the great things about space travel is none of the ships have to be aerodynamic at all because there's no resistance, right? So they can be shaped any which way you want. I love the look of this ship here in the middle. That is so cool. Yeah. It's definitely eclectic.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Alien versus Predator, the first series, the Dark Horse.
Mm-hmm.
Like the spaceships, the designs and stuff.
So is this the bigger threat that they're teaming up to face, Edwin?
Yep, that's the High-Am and their leader, Commander Krakuda. So yeah, they're this kind of race of bloodthirsty, warmongering creatures, and they're basically looking to take the armor to bring their empire back. They're kind of like the scourge of the universe. Nobody really likes them or trusts them for good reason. They're kind of on their own. Yeah, all the other races kind of deal with each other, even if they don't like each other. But the High-Am, nobody deals with them. You can't trust them.
Okay.
So that's what makes it fun, because they're clearly the bad guy, and you don't have to worry too much about anything else.
So as you can see, the interior art is great. It's dynamic. It's a bit stylized. I love it though. It really grew on me. And trying to get down here. Oh, check this. This is not one of the High-Am, right? This is just something that.
No, this is from the epilogue story. Each Ace has an epilogue story. This is how comics drew and colored this one. Yeah, he gets better and better, man. Every time he always surprises me. I love his page layouts, his panels. I love that shot right there with the visor and the reflection.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Super interesting. The one on top with the water, kind of, it's super creative. That's all him. I gave him a loose script and he just kind of went crazy on it. And he just, every page would just blow me away. So yeah,
I love it when you give a watered down script to somebody and they just blow it out.
Because
right.
The main story for Ace is a lot more tightly plotted, it's very much I need this, and this. The epilogue story, since it's broader and it's meant to kind of leave you in a bit of a mystery, you don't really know exactly the whole thing that's going on in the epilogue. You're supposed to kind of get the full story later on when we kind of connect everything together. So you
So
can
with
be a
this
little
epilogue,
looser with the script.
with the epilogue, then did you give like a synopsis to another writer who then created a script, or you gave a loose script to your artist?
I gave a little script to my artist. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And your artist is the one then that's knocking out of the park. I love it when that happens.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind
great.
of you give him some broad strokes, and then he can kind of like mess with the panel layouts and stuff like that. I do more of like panel breakdowns for the main story. Like I said, because just it needs to be kind of what I see it in my head. You can play more
Sure.
with the epilogue because it's just basically broad strokes to get you from point A to point Z.
So the art is a little bit different in the epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hal has done backups for me, and volume 1 he did the Angelique origin story, and in
Okay.
the volume 2 he did the Akula origin story. So you've seen a house artwork before, so it flows in with this.
This, I mean, no offense to the main artist, but this is really tight. I love the epilogue artist here. This is some really good, like you said, panel layouts and really good for superhero storytelling. Now you've got a retro action figure.
Yeah,
That's cool.
This is very cool. Yes, look at that. That's I think. Let me see. I'm going to go back to StreamYard here. You have an example nearby of the kind of character that you base that on, don't you?
So I have the figure here.
Look at that. And it's not tiny either. It's a good
Well,
size.
like it's based off the old WWF Hasbro's, so it's about
Oh, okay.
a
That's what it
3/4,
was.
4 inch. Yeah, so
That'll
if you got
usually
like
go on top of a birthday cake.
yeah, it's got a couple points of articulation, but to me the winner was the removable mask.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at
that's
that. That's
Oh,
awesome.
neat.
So yeah, that's what put it over the top for me. I was like, you know what, let's make this happen. So yeah, this is very limited. There are only 9 of them available. So go check them out. Like I did the Slam Buddy on the last campaign, so I wanted to
Okay.
do something different for this one. So yeah, and if we sell those out, I might do an Akula one for the next one. So
Benjamin
Oh,
Soto
nice.
asked, "Is that a hand painted figure? Did you hand paint that?"
I didn't. My guy JP Customs did. He's
Okay,
super
cool.
talented, yeah.
So what kind of packaging will that come?
There's a picture of it when you look at the tiers.
It's like a little grab bag.
Yeah, and then they're all numbered and stuff, so it tells you like this one of 10 available. So each one comes numbered.
It's going to be on the tier, you said.
Yeah, you can go all the way down,
All the way down.
a little up. Right there.
There it is. Okay. Oh, nice. It's okay. Yeah, you've got the retro like top with the staple to the pack. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's got
That's what I was hoping to see.
the logo and all that. And then, like I said, they're numbered. So
Excellent. So yeah, let's take. Let's keep looking at the campaign itself. So you've got volume 1 third printing will be available.
yeah, each printing is limited. So this Dan Doll cover for volume 3, the only way to get this is to back this campaign. When I do a second printing of volume 3, it's gonna have a different cover. So I'm gonna make each covers limited. So like we had Donald did the first printing of Ace volume 1. The only way you could gotten that was through backing that campaign. Had Doodle Bags did the cover for volume 2. So the only way to get that one was to back it to that campaign. This one is limited. So when we do different printing to have different covers, it'll be different. So it's a second or third printing or whatever.
Right. Great idea. Then it makes it exclusive to the people who backed it the first time.
So if you're a big fan of Dan Dawn, who isn't, back this one, you'll want it. Like I said, I won't be printing too many over, so it'll be even hard to get. Through me personally, if you want to reach out. So
yeah, he does some great work.
Yeah, great colors by Eugene.
Sorry.
Great colors by Eugene, who colored this.
Yeah, definitely. Dan Dahl might have even done something for my next campaign. You never know.
Cannot go wrong.
Stay tuned. All right. So then you talk about stretch goals. So for now, the stretch goal is locked. First stretch goal will be to unlock Once the book, oh, we don't even know what it is yet. And that's because so far we are at 42% funded. So it's a $3,000 flexible goal, folks. There's 48 days left, so plenty of time to do it, but why not get on it now so that we can get it funded? And therefore, everybody who takes a look at it will then know that they can back with even more confidence, not just because he's a dependable filler of campaigns, but because it's funded, and then you know you'll get the book eventually. So let's look at the individual tiers. I'm going to go to the top here. So your featured tier is the bundle. It's ACE numbers 1, 2, and 3. Now with the bundle, you get the second print, the third printing of the first book, the second printing of the second book, and the first printing of the third book, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a inverse proportion.
Yeah.
And that's
But I just like
$45.
to differentiate so people know, like, you know, the reason I do it like that is mostly because I want to sell as many copies of this damn dog cover as possible. So
Right.
people know, like, this isn't a game. Literally, like, I'll only have like a handful left, and they're mostly for like comps and to give to like my friends and stuff. So if you want it, this is how you get it.
Yep, this is the time and the place. All right. So other than that, next up we've got ACE Volume 3 in PDF form, so a digital version. Yep. Wise to have that there. Volume 2 in PDF and Volume 1 in PDF. Now, when you get the PDF, are they, let's say, for example, Volume 1 here. When you get the bundle, you're getting the third printing cover of the ACE Volume 1. When you get this PDF, is it also the third printing cover?
Yeah, it has like a new credits page and everything, so it'll tell you.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So it's consistent in that regard. All right, then you've got Volume 3, the book, for $15. Volume 1, third printing. We've been talking about that one. Get that as a separate tier. Volume 2, second printing. Yep. And then a blank sketch cover. Oh, that's good. It would be great. So if you get the sketch cover, can you commission your artist to draw on it, something particular, or?
You can. I mean, Canales is always open to working with people. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is inspired by Shelby Robertson. He's the one who ended up doing this one for me. I got him to do a sketch cover for Bloodbone Ashcan, which came out sick and really good quality. So he kind of twisted my arm to do one for Ace Volume 3. It's the first time I'm doing anything like this for Ace. So yeah, it's gonna have like a smaller logo at the top, so it's gonna have a lot of room for the art and the artist. And like I said, the quality of the Bloodbone Ashcan sketch cover was really good, and that's coming from Shep because he drew one up for me. So yeah, this quality should be really good for any artist out there that wants to mess with it, or if you want to commission somebody, you know, to do some and Akula or Ace or Angelique, you know, definitely be down for that too. But yeah, these will be limited. I think that I'm only doing 50. So yeah, if you're a fan of sketch covers, this is how you get them.
Have you thought about, or do you have it on Fund My Comic? Have you thought about doing that?
I mostly like to keep campaigns to kind of one place, but you know, in the future, who knows? You know, I never say never. I've done other campaigns on Fund My Comic. I did Bloodbone. I did Rid of the White Leopard on Fund My Comic. You know, both campaigns were really smooth. Shout out to Luke and the guys. They do great work over there. You know, the deciding factor to launch Ace on Indiegogo is because the first two launched on Indiegogo, and everything went smooth with that. So I wanted to keep the theme going.
Yeah,
and a lot of people who found you there probably would expect to find this one at Indiegogo as well.
Yeah, but you know, for the future, for like you know, like I will be collecting the first 4 issues as like a trade when it's all said and done. So that'll definitely pop up on different places.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea to put the trade on Fund My Comic after issues 1 through 4 funding get fulfilled on Indiegogo.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. So I'm glad, you know, all these platforms are available. So
sure.
Yeah, I've always been curious about the success of the different, like the different way people like to look at these. You got Fund My Comic, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, the big 3 that I'm aware of, and I'm curious, do people make more money when they go on all three, or do they end up making more money in the long haul? Oh, also people's own personal websites too, and like
Mhm.
trying to like like combine all of them together. I wonder which is the most successful. I guess it's down to the audience, but I've always liked Indiegogo myself. But I am curious
Yeah.
about Fund My Comic. It looks cool.
Yeah, like
My
as far
comic-
as like layouts, it's actually super. I think it's the best platform. The Indiegogo creator page is not easy. You know, uh, the way they deal with stuff after the campaign launches is a lot smoother, but setting up a campaign is kind of a nightmare. You know,
Oh my gosh, is
it's
it
kind
ever?
of weeks on creating this page. It literally was driving me nuts at one point. So yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
get easier. No matter how, this is my third one, and it still doesn't get easier. The Fund My Comic ones were like that. It was a snap. I did them in a day. So yeah,
Yeah, they definitely have that down. Uh, you know, on Kickstarter, the thing is, if you have no way to reach the wider audience on Kickstarter, it just doesn't get legs. If you can just in some way or another grab the attention of the audience, Kickstarter, I think, has a much larger audience. The problem is getting their attention.
Yeah.
So I've seen comic books there just take off and make many thousands of dollars.
You got to do TNA for that.
Yeah, that's the sad part
They
of it.
have a lot of that on Kickstarter.
And the number of variant covers with the nice and naughty, and it's like, come on, that I don't
And
know.
NSFW, nice and naughty, and then NSFW, nice, NSFW, naughty,
Oh,
and then
right.
just nice, and then just naughty. There's like 20
Exactly.
variants on every cover on
Yeah,
every comic.
it is. It is
Yeah.
the
And
variant mania. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can tell by my tone that I'm not much of a Kickstarter fan for that very reason. The variant covers it's almost like decision paralysis. I do have a good friend in the indie sphere who has like 24 variants on each of his comics, and I'd say about half of them I really love the variants. It's like, so I'm not buying 12 copies of your comic to get these
Nope.
12 different covers, dude. I'm going to buy one, and now I have to decide which one, and I don't know. It's a pain in the butt, really. I know, first world problems, but it's like, come on, dude. You don't have to
Well,
have.
Kickstarter also has that inconvenience of like, if they read your Twitter page and don't like what you say, they might shadow your ban your campaign or just outright kick it off completely.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they do have that added feature.
It's like a checkbox on there somewhere.
Right. So let's continue to look at the tiers. I think there's only a couple more. So he's got the Ace PDF bundle for all three at $25, which is 16% off. That's a good deal. A Joe Ball Ace sketch card. There's one available, just one, $25. Oh, look at that's the high end guy. That's the Crocuta, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Crocuta.
That's a cool card, man.
Yeah.
It's a
I like
sketch
how
card.
some
That's a lot of detail.
Joe does
for a
great
card.
cards.
I love it.
I like how some of your characters have a very Latin sounding name, like Aquila and Crocuta, and very cool. Does Aquila mean shark in Spanish, by the way?
No, in Russian.
Oh, Russian.
Yeah, when I originally envisioned Akula, it kind of sounded like a Russian sounding logo. Basically, he's kind of like just something ridiculous. Like his personality changed as I kind of wrote him more, but yeah, the initial
Oh,
idea
okay.
was like a Russian kind of bounty hunter. You know,
That's awesome.
his language sounds
I
like
love
Russian when he's speaking. Yeah, so it's like a fun kind
I
of idea.
love shark characters, man. They're the
He's
coolest.
great. Yeah, the
And
Akola
then
Origin might be was one of my favorite things I've ever written, and it's so much just ridiculous and awesome. So anybody who got Ace Volume 2 can enjoy that.
Yes. The retro action figure, which we mentioned a while ago, it's $30. There are very few of them. 2 of the 9 have been claimed already. So if you want one of those, if you're a collector of those retro action figures, make sure you get on that. You've got an Ace 1 and 2 comic bundle. Okay. And then this one sold out. Oh, so the Pezzy sketch by Joe Ball. Somebody grabbed Pezzy. Okay.
I like that you got PDFs on here for some of these. Like that, I've been getting more and more into the PDFs just because I can take them all with me on my phone. If I'm bored somewhere, I can read them. But I do like that. I like the PDFs. I'd rather have the comic, but that's at home, in the box, and I can take the PDF with me anywhere and read that part.
That's true. I know some people have been talking about international mail. I just got bitten pretty hard by sending comics international.
Oof.
One comic to Norway. One comic to Norway, guys, cost $72 to send.
Yeah, screw that.
So I took a huge bath on that. That's a huge loss. So
That's
I have
ridiculous.
to look at another way of doing business on my next campaign, whether it's not to allow international, but I hate to do that because I got some great backers, supporters overseas. I'd hate to say no international. So I've just got to
feel the
come
same
up
way,
with a
man. So you gotta. People have no idea. I've heard people like talking about like, oh, shipping on these books, man. Like, go to the post office tomorrow and try and ship some books, and then come talk to me about.
I've been having trouble with the post office in general here. Just here, they didn't have internet for like the whole weekend. I couldn't do a credit card. That's why it took me till today. Was it today or yesterday when I sent that picture, Dojo? Like I've been trying since Friday to get that thing sent, but the internet over here in Waco has just been crazy, and I guess they didn't pay their bill or something because.
So yeah, what our post office? I live in a very small town. Our post office has one staff member, so I got there the minute he opened, and I was there for close to 3 hours till the minute he closed. That's how long it took to send out my second wave of fulfillment on Projectile Reptile. So
that's insane.
When he saw me walk in with my first armful of boxes, he was like, "Oh no!" And I said, "Oh, dude, this isn't even half of it. This is like, I'm going to be here a very long time today." One of the great things about that service, though, is when you're there at the post office and you've got like such a huge like order going on, if somebody came in just to buy a money order or something, he could suspend my order, take care of them, and then come back to me, which I was, more than willing to allow for because, one guy walked in and I said, "Oh, he'll suspend mine and give to you." He goes, "No, I'm okay." I pointed to my boxes and I said, "No, you don't understand, sir. I'm going to be here forever." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and take cuts." And at the end of it, when he printed out the receipt, it was hilarious. It started printing and he started backing up away from the printer and backing up and backing up and backing up. I had to fold it like 10 times to get it to fit in my wallet.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, that's a good problem to have. But yeah, shipping has killed me on both of my campaigns. I got to do something different.
Yeah, I wonder what you can do about international. Like $70. That's crazy. Is it just through America, or if you were to like ship it somewhere in Europe and then they shipped anywhere else in the world,
that
would it cost
help.
the same?
Yes. No, that would help. And a lot of people are doing that where, for example, I know Bancroft even offered, if you send him a box full of your boxes, he will take them and send them Australian post. So you got to pay for the one box to get to him. And then he'll send them for you from his place. And then just, he'll charge you the much lower Australian rate to go from Australia to Australia. And then I don't know if he's got a nominal fee on that. And RJ does the same thing here in America. If you are an international seller and you want to send a big box to RJ, he will then dispense it as the other way around. And I don't know why that is, because it's got to cover the same, the same ocean, the same ground once it gets here. But it's cheaper to send it from him to us than from us to him.
How long has that been going on?
I don't know.
It's been going on since I've been putting out these books.
My first international shipment experience was with Siamese in 2021. And that one there would have broken even if not for shipping. So, yeah, shipping is a big deal, and we need to look at alternative options.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into what I would do in that situation.
So I was thinking, maybe put shipping at one rate on the campaign. Let's say you're going to charge $10 for shipping. I'm just throwing that out there. But for a fact that even just to Canada, it's going to cost you $35 to send it. Maybe allow the person that is international to back, but then let them know right up front, right on the campaign page, and every time you're on a show, let them know, here's what we're going to do. It's going to charge you $10, but then I'm going to need to reach out to you and tell you the actual difference between $10 and the amount it's really going to cost to come to you. And then I'll need you to cover that difference. Now, if they don't want to do that, then, understood. I definitely understand. And maybe backing this book isn't for you. Grab the PDF. But
what was that book we recently did? That was the case, and I backed it before I even realized that was the case. I'm not too concerned, but getting like a random charge on my card and being like, "What was that?" and then having to hunt it down is real pain.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I know about it. But
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I'll charge. How hard would it be to have multiple tiers, like American tier, Canada tier?
You can do that. You can tell it, for international shipping, you can be specific as to which country is going to cost what, or you can say U.S. costs this, the rest of the world costs this. So you can do that as well.
Oh, I see. How long has this campaign been going, Edwin?
It's about like 10, 11 days, something like that.
It says you got 48 days left. Are you going to go in demand? Or are you like it's it, you got to get it now because we're not going demand?
We'll see. 48 days.
Yeah.
Get it now,
Usually I
folks.
see people stay open until they're ready to fulfill.
Yeah.
No, like my campaign's closed before, probably a couple of months before fulfillment. So this will probably
That's cool. I actually like leaving it open sort of in demand if you can and all that. It's nice for like a backer to like, oh man, I could back it right now, but I might need to get eggs in the morning.
Right.
Let me save up a little bit longer, so I'm not like risking anything. I like that little safety net there, I guess. But on the other hand, that's when you get those 24-hour variants that make it kind of worth jumping on board as fast, during that 24-hour period. Get those exclusives when you got the money,
Right.
So that's cool. 48 days.
So everybody get on this.
Totally
Let's
make
get
it,
this
man.
funded. Yes, this book
looks
is
awesome.
definitely worth it. He's a dependable fulfillment, our campaign fulfiller. So, let's get Ace Volume 3 funded and get it in our hands because I'm looking forward to reading it. Yes, I'm being very selfish right now. I am looking forward to reading it. Back this so it gets funded. So
we do have some cool stretch goals coming. So moment it gets funded, people are going to be very happy.
Okay, awesome. So Edwin, thanks for coming on the show again. You're a great friend of the channel. I love how dependable you are, and looking forward to this book and what you've got coming up afterward. You take a quick check here as to who we have on next week. Oh, we have Zach Drake on next week. He does Drake Comics, and he's got a number of titles out there that I didn't know about till recently. And the one we're going to hone in on is it's called Big Five, but he's got Helios, Blitz, Zero, King Noir. He's got a lot of titles, and so he's going to come on the show next week, and we're going to talk about reaching outside our circles here on Incendiary. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here.